Thank you, April, wherever you went. Best way to end a show is with April squared. Hi, everyone. It's been an amazing Appian World. I haven't gotten to experience as much of it because I've been prepping this great show for you, so I really hope you stick around, cheer loudly, and just enjoy. It's our third annual Live Build Challenge. It's going to be the best and biggest one yet. And we couldn't have gotten here without all of the love and support that the Appian community has shown. We've grown this Live Build Challenge from a virtual breakout to a live special event to an international series, and finally, to this amazing stage. It's come together with the help of many incredible people from Appian, from our production partners, and from our sponsor this year, Skillstorm. So please, a round of applause. Yeah, that round of applause for everyone that has made my dream of becoming an enterprise software game show host come true. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, if you're a little new here, or you just want to relive the moments from last year, we have a quick recap video to share. I am so excited to bring you this amazing program from the live stream to the live stage.
Go, hands on keyboards, be great today. We're starting out with Navira. I see somebody who's cool and in control here.
And if we jump to Jake, he's even adding some test users.
The heat is on right now. Will 10,000 in cold hard cash cool it down a little bit? We'll have to see.
Laurel, she's been throwing in some of that extra credit as she goes.
Don't underestimate a girl in tech.
Liam is deploying.
3, 2, 1.
It's over, hands up, keyboards, finito. The die is cast.
And you've qualified for this Live Build Challenge by winning our regional event in APJ. We had a walk-up arcade booth with a quick challenge, and then you went in and you did it so quickly.
Well, great to see you again. Hope everything has been going well since your win at Appian Europe. You all built a World Cup themed portal in just 30 minutes.
You never thought when you got to the conference that day that you would win a small challenge that would give you a guaranteed ticket to come to San Diego and compete in the big challenge.
If you won at Appian World $10,000, then what?
Ooh.
What's the big trip for that?
Everest?
Whoa.
I can't find any other event than Appian World that can connect all of us together again.
See you all at Appian World, guys.
Pretty awesome, pretty awesome. So you've spent the past couple of days learning about the power of the Appian platform. But we've been telling you, so now we're going to show you. And by we, I mean our 6 brave contestants, Appian developers from around the world, who are going to come up here, sit over there, try their best to tune you out, and build the best app that they can in just 1 hour. You'll be able to see their every move on these massive screens as they go from nothing to an app that you'll be able to see, you'll be able to touch, and you'll be able to play with. I mean, I don't know about you, but I get nervous when I'm just in a meeting with one person trying to share my screen, typos everywhere. So what would possess a person to do this? There's the glory, the bragging rights, and of course, the $10,000 cash prize. So let's not wait any longer. Please put your hands together to welcome our 6 amazing developers. Love it. Hope you like their baseball jerseys. I thought that could be a cool little touch. Sponsor logo on the arm there. So really a great looking bunch. So they're going to sit over there, do a last minute tech check of their station. Let me tell you a little bit about what they're going to build. So I hope that you're all ready to put on your detective hats, because in the next hour, these contestants are going to create a portal that you'll be able to access and interact with, and you'll be able to use to try and solve a horrible crime. So that's right. In their environments, there's data about people, evidence, interviews, and you'll be able to use their portals to explore it and see if you can crack that case. So it's going to be a really, really exciting hour, and when we hit the buzzer to mark the end of the challenge, the judges are going to take some time to finalize the scores, determine the winner, and I will be joined up here by a very special guest. If you were here at the morning keynote, you'll know who that is. And we'll be talking all things creativity, building, and even take some questions from you. So if you have any, have those ready to go. You'll want to stick around to the end. All right, one last thing I need before we get started. I want to make sure that you don't miss 1 minute of the action. So to help me take you through it, it is my great pleasure to introduce Jenny Dorina and Justin Shalap to the stage to join me at the commentator desk.
All right, so I heard the contestants are building an investigative case management application to solve crimes. So I thought I would don my detective hat and come out in character and also in style.
So you have your detective hat, but we have matching trends, Coach Jenny. So in our true competitive nature, do you think we should send a poll to the audience to see who pulled it off better?
No.
Okay, fair.
But speaking of polls, there are going to be a few polls to get input from you guys, the audience. So keep your eye out during the event for your time to shine and interact with what's going on stage. And the link to the polls you need later are in the conference app.
Okay, so I think it's time we put the focus on the real entertainment, obviously, not us.
Yes, so we're just about to get started, but I have always wanted to do this, and this is the closest I will ever get to hosting SNL.
This is your window. This is your window.
So, let's get some hype. We have a great show for you tonight. Taylor Swift is here.
Jenny, you just wanted Taylor Swift to be here. She's on tour. She's not actually in San Diego. So let's do that one more time. Let's do that one more time. One more time.
Maybe you can help me out with this event.
Yes.
All right.
We have a great show for you tonight. Kin, Paul, Anthony, Molly, Joshua, and Aparna are here. Let's hear it for them. All right, April, let's get kicked off.
Amazing. All right, are you all ready to go? Are you guys ready to go? Let's get that countdown going. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom! Let's go. Let's get it started. All right. Woohoo! You know, counting is not something I'm good at, but that's okay. All right, my friends. All right. While they're getting started, how are you doing?
I'm here in sunny San Diego, April. I have absolutely no complaints whatsoever. But Jenny, how was your flight from across the pond? I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, actually, I've been in California for the past week now, so almost 2 weeks, because this is my home state. Even though I live in London, I am a Californian at heart, and I was visiting my family, so it was a lot.
Okay, all right, well, we can unpack that later. We have a commentator's desk, not a therapist couch. But
how was your flight over here? You're from New York?
yeah, no, it was good. I was only actually back home in New York City for about 36 hours because I just got back from London last Friday.
Ah, what were you doing in London?
I was visiting one of our amazing customers, S&P Global. If you're in the audience or on the virtual audience, can I hear you?
Oh.
Woo!
Yeah, we heard a couple of woots.
I love it. I love it.
So, okay, enough about us.
Yeah.
Let's find a little bit more about what the contestants are going to be building.
Oh, absolutely. So they're building a case management app, but really it's one case, a case that you'll be able to interact with. So I have a couple of slides on this. Maybe we can get them up on the screen. Wait a second. All right, so Detective Portal. So it's kind of a spin on an investigative case management. You all know Appian does case management very, very well. So we wanted to spice things up a bit and have a little bit of a different challenge. So there's data around one case, and you will be interacting with it. Let's see a little bit about how they're going to be judged on what they're building. So there are user stories to complete, of course, We have an MVP, and we have stretch goals. So the MVP is that portal, case overview, looking at the persons of interest, their interviews, their recollection of events. And some of those stretch goals are being able to submit a tip on a tip line to the detectives, or being able to more easily interact with the different relationships or timelines, filtering through them. And there is even a crowd requirement, which you may see up there. So later on, we said there's polls. You guys are actually going to vote on an additional twist requirement that they have to add later on, so stick around for that. They're also going to be judged on user experience, and there's actually two components of this. There is a mobile portion and a web portion. Now, Appian Sail does a great job at doing both, but it also lets you customize for those different experiences. So you'll see their web versions up here, but we will be sharing out those links at the end so you can experience the mobile version as well. And then last but not least, Appian makes it really easy to test that application health. So we'll be docking points if they have a lot of warnings, errors, anything like that. So yeah, that's it for the challenge requirements and what they'll be judged on. And while they're still getting going, I'd love for you to meet these contestants. So we'll go through them one by one. We'll start with Kin, first up at this desk. Now, Kin is the first person that we knew would be competing because he won our regional APJ Live Build Challenge. And I had a chance to chat with him again and would love to show you that interview video.
So Kin, to start, why don't you just quickly introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Kin Lee, and I'm from Excel. I'm from Australia. I am a senior Appian consultant, and I've been working with Appian for my past 6 years.
How did you find Appian?
I started my career as a graphic engineer. It's like a total different field from what I was used to be. And I also found out that Appian is quite easy to pick up. And I remember I spent half a year to certify myself and get my career rolling.
You participated in a hackathon a few years ago. Can you tell us a little bit about the past competitions you've participated in?
The past competition that I was participating in was in Appian World 2018. And I was so lucky to meet Steve Wozniak, as he was one of the guest judge for that hackathon.
So you qualified for this challenge through our Live Build Challenge arcade that we had in an APJ. What was your experience like doing the Live Build Challenge arcade?
To be honest, I never thought of participating in this, and I said to myself, why don't I get a try? And I really never thought of winning this, to be honest.
What do you think you would do with the money if you won?
I'm bringing my family with me this time to United States. If I win the Live Build Challenge, there will be a great holiday for us.
Do you have a message you want to say to your family and friends?
One thing I would like to say to my son is, Papa will be on stage, and please cheer for Papa. He might not have an idea what I'm doing, but he certainly knows that I'm doing something on stage.
When he's older, will you make him watch the video?
I will force him to watch the video.
You're going to be going up against 5 other amazing Appian developers. Do you have a message for them?
I try to be humble, but be well prepared, and I'm coming for you.
Now, I actually know Kin from when he started his Appian journey because I was the one who trained him.
Oh, so you're not biased at all.
I know that he's well prepared, that's for sure. Certainly humble back then, but I'm sure he has his eyes on the prize at this point. He's definitely come a long way with participating in a lot of different Appian-related contests. And hopefully he can't really hear me right now because I really want to add some extra pressure so he doesn't let me down. But if we take a look at what the contestants are doing and pull up Poll, we can get to meet him a bit more. And I actually also know Poll because I watched him build a World Cup event management application back in November when he participated in the Live Build Challenge at Appian Europe. He was the regional EMEA winner, but we'll see if he can handle it on the world stage. So let's meet Poll.
Hey Paul, great to see you again. Hope everything has been going well since your win at Appian Europe. For anyone that didn't get a chance to meet you there, can you start by introducing yourself?
I'm Paul from Paris, France. I'm 26. I've been developing with Appian for a little over 2 years now, and I won Appian Europe 2022.
You've done all sorts of crazy adrenaline things. Can you tell us about some of the activities that you've tried in the past?
I'm a skydiver, so I've got a little more than 100 jumps. Also in the air, I have my private pilot license.
You've jumped out of planes, you've competed in the Live Build Challenge in Europe. How does the adrenaline compare?
I'm gonna be honest with you, it's more stressful to be on the stage in Appian Europe than it was to jump out of planes.
A difference between Europe and between the Appian World Live Build Challenge is this challenge is actually an hour long. So you experienced the 30-minute version. How do you think it's going to be doing one that's twice as long, that has many more requirements, that's on a bigger stage?
30 minutes was already exhausting, and I cannot imagine 1 hour on a bigger stage with bigger reward. But I have my lucky keyboard, so I'm gonna bring my keyboard to San Diego.
So in sports, there's this concept sometimes where teams will watch footage of their competition to see how they play. Do you think that the others should do that and watch the recording of you at Appian Europe?
Oh, they absolutely should, and I hope they're gonna be scared because I type pretty damn fast. Be sure to check that live, and so you know what you're up against.
Do you want to say, something in French back to your family?
Papa, je sais que t'as rien compris, mais j'ai gagné. On se voit à San Diego.
And speaking of French, in fact, Paul, as he said, brought his own keyboard, but that has the AZERTY layout for French instead of the normal QWERTY. So it's something completely foreign to us to use.
I mean, I can barely send out a text message with the keyboard I've been using for 25 years, let alone spend $10,000 on the stage building an Appian app with that.
And the way that Paul won last year was by completing really the highest number of extra credit points. So he picked the biggest user story to go with, and he also creatively combined a lot of the user stories into kind of building them all at the same time. So we'll see what option he goes with this time. Checking in on some of the builds, which I think Anthony now has started on his interfaces pretty early on, but if we pull up Anthony, we just saw Paul has his pilot license, and our next contestant, Anthony, actually is a ship captain. So you could say they're both captains, Justin.
I swear, if you say that they both like to sail, I'm gonna lose it.
On that note, let's meet Anthony.
Okay.
Thanks for being here. This is going to be fun. If you could just introduce yourself.
My name is Anthony Caligieri. I'm from Arlington, Virginia. I currently work at Ignite Group as a solutions architect, and I've been working with Appian for 3 years now.
Let's start with some Appian questions. So how did you first get started working with Appian?
So actually the first job I took out of college, didn't realize it, but it was with Appian. So was trained up on the platform in a matter of a couple of weeks, and I think it's really worked out in the long run, and I've definitely grown a lot.
How do you feel about your preparedness for this challenge? I mean, obviously Ignite has been involved since the beginning, and so you have your colleagues that can help you. Are they helping you train? Do you feel like you're really supported?
I think that I have two really great resources in Megan and Liam, who have both gone through this experience. Definitely will be utilizing them as we get closer to the competition to get some tips and tricks, how to do things the quick way.
It's one thing to feel prepared from the Appian side of things, feel like you can be quick on the development, but it's another thing to translate that to being on a live stage in front of hundreds of people, bright lights in your face. So how do you feel about that aspect?
Personally, I am motivated by being on the live stage with the audience and the bright lights. I think it definitely encourages me to, do well and continue to build out this application. I believe most of them will be cheering on for me, so I'm excited for that motivation. I'm ready to win.
If you were to win, what would you do with the money?
Ooh, that's a good question. Definitely putting most of it into a vacation fund. Been wanting to go to Europe for a while, so I think that's a great opportunity. Always great to have a little more spending cash, so I think that we'll do some sort of split, 75-25, 50-50. we'll see what it pans out to be, but I've got some plans if I do get the $10,000.
Do you have a message for your fellow competitors?
Excited to share the stage with you. May the best man or woman win.
Now, Ignite, who we see has some strong representation up here in the front, they've been a pillar of the Live Build Challenge since the very beginning when Megan from Ignite took home the win. So we'll see if Anthony can bring home the trophy once again.
And Jenny, the only other company who's participated in every Live Build Challenge since its inception is Mastodon Technologies. And so this year, see over there, this year representing that Appian partner is Molly. So in the Mastodon Ignite rivalry, I'm really eager to see who will prevail. So let's take a look at her contestant interview.
To start us off, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Molly Saul. I am from Austin, Texas. I work with Mastodon Technologies as a business process architect, and I have been working with Mastodon since 2017.
You are one of the most experienced competitors with Appian. How do you think that will help or hurt you in this competition?
Well, there's definitely a lot of things that I still like to do manually. Just because, you know, that's how I was taught to do them.
Have you been to Appian Worlds before?
I haven't been to Appian World before. This will be my first time, and I'm definitely looking forward to the opportunity to meet a whole bunch of people.
What do you like to do outside of work?
I love to cook and bake. I draw a lot. I fold a lot of origami. And I live in Austin, Texas, which is a great and vibrant city with a lot of stuff going on. So I try to get out there and see the sights and enjoy the outdoors. Beyond that, I'm looking forward to that beautiful San Diego weather. And I would also hopefully like to make it out to Joshua Tree National Park.
You love to travel to national parks. Is that something you'll do with the prize money if you win?
Yeah, that's the plan. I love national parks. You can kind of see my national park wall behind me. I have been wanting to for a really long time to go to Volcanoes National Park in Hawaii. I love volcanoes and I love national parks, and I really would love to go to Hawaii. So I think that that's probably what I would do.
That sounds like a great use of the prize money. Do you have a message for your fellow competitors?
Good luck, because you're gonna need it.
I'm sensing a little bit of cockiness in there. How confident are you? How confident are you that you're gonna take home the big check?
I am very excited for this competition. I am going to walk onto that stage like I know it's a sure thing no matter what.
I mean, so based on her interest, combined with 6+ years of Appian dev experience, I mean, that's more than I have. I mean, I'm interested to see what she can cook up on the stage over there. And also on the topic of her travel plans after Appian World and where she'd like to go, I think that's a very natural segue to our next contestant, Joshua.
Tree National Park?
Exactly. So like Molly, Joshua also has 6+ years of experience, and he's such an Appian fanboy that he actually has an Appian license plate on his car. So let's take a look at what he had to say about that.
Hi Josh, thanks so much for taking the time to meet with me today. Excited to get to know a little bit more about you. To start, can you just introduce yourself to the audience?
I'm Joshua Fisher. I am developing Appian for about 6 years now. I'm a lead developer and director of the Appian practice at Blue Arc.
So you're a veteran. Thank you for your service. How do you think your experience serving has helped you in your transition into civilian life as an Appian developer?
When I was in the military, I would work on a lot of different computer systems, and I got taught, one, the basis behind computer science, and then two, an idea and a perspective of how to troubleshoot systems. In troubleshooting Appian, I followed some of the same concepts.
How do you feel like your chances are of winning this thing?
I think my chances of winning are pretty strong. I'm going to be ready to knock out, every requirement I can as fast as possible.
If you were to be on any other game show outside of the Appian space, what game show do you think you'd want to be in?
I would like to be on Family Feud. I'm a family man. I'm always doing stuff with my kids. They're the ones that also pay the price of me working long hours and being obsessed with Appian. So they deserve a trip. So if we win, I think we're gonna try to make a trip to Costa Rica.
Do you have a message for your fellow competitors?
I know the comp is at the end of Appian World, so by then I hope we have all had a chance to meet each other, swap Appian war stories, have some drinks, and most importantly, build each other up because we are the pillars of the community.
Josh, that was such a beautiful answer. I might cry a little.
So I'm not going to cry like April. I don't know if you did that after the interview or not, but I really do love that answer. I mean, that is the spirit of the Live Build Challenge, right?
Yeah, it's so sweet. The contestants end up trauma bonding.
I mean, honestly, can you blame them? And so lastly, bringing us home of our 6 talented developers that we have on the other side of the stage is Aparna. So Aparna is a part of an Appgino legacy in the Live Build Challenge. So her coworker, Harshit, came in 2nd place in our first Live Build Challenge behind Megan in 2021. So I wonder if he taught her a thing or two to prepare for today. Let's see.
Hi, Aparna. Thank you so much for taking the time. To start, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
My name is Aparna Tripathi, and I'm from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, which is in India. And currently I'm working as a tech lead in Appsino Technologies.
Why did you want to participate in this challenge?
I have been watching the Live Build Challenge since its inception. Feeling a bit nervous, but really excited, and it's a great opportunity.
What do you like to do to help prepare yourself for stressful events?
When I'm stressed or when I'm excited, I really listen to music to calm myself down or to pump myself up.
What do you like to do outside of work?
I'm a huge cinephile, so I love watching new movies, new TV shows. I'm also currently trying to learn a few musical instruments, so I'm trying to play. I have a guitar and I have a ukulele.
This is like the pinnacle of Appian game show. But if you were going to be on any other game show, what kind of game show would you like to compete in?
I used to enjoy one which is called The Amazing Race. Have you seen that?
That's my favorite one. That's the one I would do. How do you feel like you'll do in this competition? Do you have a message for your fellow competitors?
It would be a fun, exciting opportunity to work with you all and to compete with you all, and I'm really looking forward to it. Excited to meet you all in person.
I mean, in Meet they all have. I was just behind stage with the 6 contestants and the energy was so good. And so let's now do a time check with the 6 contestants that we all now know very well. How much have they accomplished in the 20 minutes since we started, April?
So it has been a really intense 20 minutes. I'm actually up here in contact with my 6 judges in the back. We have one for each contestant giving me a play-by-play of what's going on. But before we do that, you know, we want to make things harder. We have to up the ante every year, and also Appian makes it really easy to make changes. So if you go ahead and open your conference app, you should see a poll where you can vote on a new challenge requirement. So if you don't have that there, you can scan this QR code. We have 4 options there for you. So let's make it a little harder for them. They'll get extra points if they're able to get it done. Jenny, Justin, maybe Justin, let's start with you. You've never had to change and add a last-minute requirement during a demo or anything, right? Everything's set in stone from the beginning.
Oh yeah, no, like a prospect has never asked me, oh, can we make this quick change on the fly, you know, next 5-10 minutes, right, Jenny?
Yeah, and honestly, that's my favorite thing that happens because it's where I can just show off. I can be the smart one to immediately interpret the results. I think one time somebody said it's like you're reading my mind, and it's because it's so easy to make those tweaks and make those changes on the fly and get those updated. And it's also fun when there's 2 of us, like we have here. I can be speaking and going through my application, talking about all the benefits, and Justin can be furiously typing in the background, so it looks like what I did was magic.
No, yeah, it's almost like you just heard a requirement, thought of it, and willed it onto the screen.
Yeah.
But so, I guess thinking about these different requirements that the contestants are going to have to be building here. I know the first one is related to updating the branding. So what do you think about that level of complexity if the audience is maybe feeling generous to throw the contestants a bone?
I think that the branding one is probably one of the easier ones to add to it because, you know, you just change a couple hex codes, you put in some images, some logos, and that can really make a big difference and make it look like a specific portal or a specific screen that actually is unique to yourself.
Right.
I think there's another one in there about adding types. I think that also would be a pretty generous, a pretty easy one to add because it's just a simple drop down or a radio button. It's up to them to interpret the requirements, but adding a type for the tip line, probably also pretty straightforward. I would be hoping if I were them for one of those. But if you guys are feeling a bit crueler, totally up to you. You could try one of the more difficult ones. What were some of the other options, April?
So one of the other ones was being able to actually send the portal to a friend. So, like I said, it's not a standard application, but a little bit of a game for you guys as well. So if you have a friend at home you think would love to try and crack the case, adding a little field where you can put in their email address and send them a link to the portal there. And what was that last one?
I think for the emailing one, that's going to be more challenging because there's a lot more moving parts. That's a process model that you will probably want to kick off to send that email out. Some sort of action, which is a few other steps rather than just a simple drop down. So again, if you're feeling cruel, you're feeling like you want to see them sweat a little more, then feel free to use that option.
Yeah, I think we've probably given enough time. It's been a couple of minutes. Maybe we can throw those results up on the screen and see what they're going to have to do or choose to do if they want the extra points. Let's see.
Drum roll.
Drum roll, please. Here it's coming. It's coming. Any second. The suspense is killing me too, don't worry. It's killing them too.
Speaking of the different interface options as well, it looks like they're all in the interface designer. I've been keeping track on all of those tabs that they have. They've all looked like they've gone through their data fabric and built out their records. I will say that all of these tabs does give me a little bit of anxiety, but hopefully they're not feeling that. But yeah, what's really interesting is also that their interfaces look really different, so it's cool to see how they take the same requirements and implement it in a very different way.
And on the topic of anxiety, I'm seeing a few of those error messages up there. And I know that when from Appian Europe, I was in the audience. Of course, I wasn't commentating, but I do remember that Paul spent the majority of his time in expression mode as opposed to design mode. And so little configurations here or there, maybe forgetting a comma, that can throw those errors that can be really anxiety-inducing. But it looks like, more or less, each of the developers are able to quickly use the helpful messaging from that error to troubleshoot it properly and make sure they have everything in order moving forward. But this is where it really starts to get interesting. I'm almost about halfway through, to your point, none of these experiences look the same. Like, they all look very different stylistic choices and UI considerations. It's going to make all these portals that the audience can interact with really great.
And talking about the different errors, they're spending a lot of time in the expression editor, that's for sure. And even though that's not a legal crime, with the speed that the designer can give them, it's certainly an Appian crime. So we'll see if that shows up in their case management app.
Should we put that on their permanent record?
April? Oh, permanent record. Oh, stop it. Okay. A little bit of a issue putting up the poll, so I think I'm just going to pick executive decision. Friends, do the sending an email to your friend. Sending an email. Send the email to your friend. Send the email to your friend if you want.
So April was feeling a little cruel.
Yeah, April is definitely feeling like she wants to be the mean taskmaster up here.
Send the email to your friend if you want. They're not paying attention to me. We'll see how it goes. Mostly, I've just put way too much time. I've put too much time into this for it to just be amongst you and actually amongst the hundreds that we have tuning in on the live stream as well. So I would love to actually cycle through the contestants. Like I said, I've been talking to the judges in the back, and I have some little things that they've been doing. So if we start with Kin, we'll go back in order. If we start with Kin, I'm being told that he actually started going into the database to create a table for the tip line. Now, come on, we have codeless data modeling now. What is that?
I did see him starting to go into the database, and I was seeing if any other people were doing that, and that was definitely his style. You know, we'll see if it executes well at the end, but I don't want to make any judgments too far ahead. But yeah, if you're going in that back end, it's probably time that you could be spending elsewhere to build a bit more and hopefully achieve those points.
But he probably didn't have the time to go, you know, to the data fabric session, learn about the codeless data modeling. He was prepping for the live build challenge. You know, we can't really blame him that much.
That's fair.
Or what it is that Jenny trained him, and that was many years ago, so not as up to date with the latest features.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Okay, let's move along. So if we move on to our next contestant poll, so he won in Appian Europe, but in Appian Europe, Jenny and I gave him a lot of red cards because he was in expression mode the whole time. So when I heard that he actually was using a lot of drag and drop and designer, you know, it kind of made me a little happy that he's starting to adopt some new things. So Justin, how do you think that's going to help him out doing a balance of expression and design mode?
I mean, I think that's the key to developing these interfaces so quickly. With the UI design experience, there are all of these components that you can drag and drop so quickly to provide structure to your interfaces, to provide ways to gather information in this tip line, the ways to serve up information. And then, if you want to have some more complex configuration, you can jump to expression mode, which is why my favorite feature of 23.1 was the ability to select an interface, a component in design mode, and see that line of code in expression mode. So you can jump back and forth that much quicker.
And speaking of kind of Pole's strategy, I see that he's working on the timeline summary, and that's one of those extra credit points. So I don't know if he's already done with all of the requirements. He's used to building that in 30 minutes, so I don't know if he's done with everything that's core, and now he's moving on to those extra credit pieces, but it's exciting. Hopefully we'll see what he comes up with.
Definitely really exciting. Now, if we move on to our next contestant, Anthony, what I'm being told is he has been spending so much time on the UI, and I know that that's something Megan told me she was really into the first year as well, so he wants to make it look good for you all. He wants you to have a great experience, but will he get all that extra functionality in? I don't know. Jenny, is it nice to just have a good interface that doesn't work, or you know, what should we do with that?
I mean, it should work. That's a start. Yeah. But yeah, I've been keeping an eye on Anthony's build, and he's definitely leaning into that dark mode. He's got a really interesting screen layout as far as the really horrific crimes that I'm getting the details of as they're starting to build it out. But no, I think it looks great. There's still time, so there's the option to make it all functional and then make it look nice afterwards, or it's making it look nice along the way. It's up to them, I'd say.
It really is. And you know, moving on to our Ignite Mastodon rivalry, if we go on to our next contestant, Molly. So Molly, from the beginning, started getting her portal object, making sure that she's putting in those pages, those interfaces from the beginning, as well as testing along the way. She wants to make sure, even if she doesn't finish everything, she has something to share at the end. And I remember last year with Jake, he was doing a lot of testing along the way, Justin, but like he ended up spending a little too much time testing and couldn't quite get as many points. So it's only 1 hour. Justin, what is your balance between I should be testing as I'm going, or maybe once we get the demo done, then we can start thinking about how we expand?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, it's a double-edged sword almost sometimes, right? You need to test because so many of these objects have dependencies because we can reuse so many objects within Appian. So if one of your objects that's the foundation for the whole app isn't functional, then you're going to run into problems that makes it much more complex to break down later. But of course, you need to have that testing in the first place.
And what I'm excited about seeing with Molly is that I just saw she had the process modeler open, so she's not just spending all of her time sitting in the interface designer, she's done with the data fabric piece and putting the records together, and even going to the process models now, which I am happy to see.
And it looked like the process she's building was the extra points sending the email. So
hopefully she
might
gets
clinch
them.
those extra points.
We'll see. Let's move on. Let's go check in with Josh. So Josh has been working a lot on functionality, not as much on that UI. So opposite approach to Anthony. And one of the things he's been working on is the extra credit that's relating to better showing relationships. So within this case, you know, there's people of interest, and there's some people who say, well, that person is my romantic partner, and the other one says, well, no. So being able to see how people relate to each other and things that they say about each other could be really helpful for solving the case. Jenny, if you were trying to solve a crime, where would you start? Would you start with looking at the relationships, the interviews?
Jenny may have committed the crime.
Yeah, that's usually my role, not solving it. Yeah, I think going through the relationships and seeing who the different suspects are. But I am interested to see that I think he's about to publish his portal, which is a very exciting moment. So I think that Josh probably has gotten a decent level of application going. He's built enough and he's starting to publish that portal and build those different pieces out. Paying attention to security along the way, we'd love to see that. That's also going to mean that he won't get as many flags on his application health ding. So it's not just about making points, it's also about making sure you don't get points removed.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's go to Aparna next. So I was told when setting up her record, she actually missed setting up 2 of them. So I don't know if that's part of her strategy. For me personally, Justin, I want to make sure I have all the data set up first, because then Appian does a lot of the work for you, and you can do a lot of generate things within that record designer. So I don't know, what do you think? It's a bold move.
I mean, it's a bold move. I don't know, maybe it was an intentional move, so I guess we'll know at the end. But I completely agree that data fabric, we've talked about it throughout this entire conference, it's the most important part of your applications. It's the information that underpins everything. But what is great is that it doesn't need to be static. You don't have to know necessarily what that data fabric is going to look like from the beginning and have that persist forever. So if she maybe catches that she missed 2 of these records, she can place those relationships in the existing data fabric and get off and running.
And just as a summary on Aparna, with combining the UI, which is a cool looking one from the small amount that we can see so far, in that most of the space is taken up by the expression editor, but she's definitely showing the relationships, or at least the suspect list, so we have that nice side by side with the different individuals that are part of this, but also an interesting screen. So taking pieces, themes from other people, I'd say.
And it looks like Aparna, quickly on that screen, she was actually leveraging some of our patterns as well.
Ooh.
So she's working, like I like to say, smarter, not harder. All of those out-of-the-box patterns of common ways that we like to serve up information that Appian can provide for you, in addition to our new design library, where you can actually create those reusable components. It looks like Aparna's leaning into that.
Yeah, no, they're all definitely moving. I mean, it's already been about 35 minutes, pretty crazy. I'm checking in with my judges now on the scoreboard, and I'm seeing that, let me see, I'm seeing that Poll actually has completed almost all of the MVP, and Anthony is right behind with having completed about half of it. Everyone else is in progress there. And then if I look at the stretch goals, I am seeing with the stretch goals that Molly is really starting a lot of those stretch. So maybe she's been thinking about how to do them all together and not just wait till the very end. So I don't know, now you've seen all of them, you've learned about all of them. I'm curious who you think will win. I mean, there's another poll in that app, and you can vote on who your favorite is, what team you're rooting for. Maybe, I know we have flags and foam fingers. Maybe we can just get those all up in the air, give a little cheer for who we want to win. I see a lot of green. Where's everyone else? Come on. There we go. There we go. That's right. That's what we like to see. So, there's still some time to find out who that winner is going to be. Justin, Jenny, what are your thoughts? Jenny, you have been there for a couple of challenges. Is it usually the one that is ahead at the beginning that's going to win, or do we think there's a come from behind?
Honestly, I feel like with all of the live build challenges, at least that I've been a part of, I have no idea who's going to win. They all look very different, they're all achieving different pieces, and we have no idea until the judges actually complete it in the end. There's not necessarily an obvious standout. They're all doing lots of different things. But I think if I was a contestant, maybe it's good that they can't see the judges live scoring all the time, because I would start to get a lot of anxiety about not having enough of those green check marks at this point, because we are 35 minutes into it, we're over halfway done, and if you don't have over half of the checks done, then you've got some work to do.
Yeah. Some work to do for sure. And I mean, at least for me, the Southeast Solutions Consulting team quotes Ricky Bobby at the end of every team meeting and saying, if you're not first, you're last. And I definitely don't think that's the case here. I think all 6 of these developers are for sure winners for being on stage here. But if you're not first, you don't get the $10,000 check, Jenny.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm going in now to go check on the results of that poll, see who the crowd favorite might be. I'm getting a little load up here. Oh goodness, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Anyway, oh, here it is, up for me. Let's see. Oh wow, it looks like team poll. A lot of people are cheering for him. I mean, it's like the who wins all the time? Do any of us know sports?
Absolutely not.
That's not why they put us up here, April. That's not why they put us up here.
The Patriots
Simone
or something.
Biles.
Simone Biles always
Biles.
wins. Always wins.
It's like Simone Biles, like he won last time, so we want him to win again. But what about a come from behind? I mean,
This could be an underdog story.
I love an underdog story.
Yeah, everyone does. Everyone does. I mean, but that's the point, right? I mean, there's 23 minutes is a lot to still have time left to build an Appian. We saw here that Molly generated that process to get those extra points in less than 5 or so minutes. So it's anyone's game, honestly.
It really is, and we'll just have to wait and see. And as a reminder for our in-person audience, we do have a special guest coming to visit. But before we go on and get into the final bits of the action, we do have a sponsor this year. And that sponsor, I want to thank so much for helping bring us to this amazing stage. I mean, can we give a round of applause for this production value? Doesn't it look incredible? It looks amazing. It looks incredible. So our sponsor has helped make this possible, and I wanted to make sure we're doing them justice. So I actually got to talk to a couple of people who have gone through their program, so you can hear in their own words about what Skillstorm is. So let's cue that video up.
This year is the first time the Live Build Challenge has a sponsor. And even more exciting than that is that that sponsor is Skillstorm. To tell you more about Skillstorm, I thought who better to go to than people who have been through the program themselves. So I'm joined here by Michael and Josh to give us a little bit of insight into what it is. Let's start with some intros. Michael, why don't you start?
My name is Michael Hasso, and I am an Appian developer with Skillstorm.
And Josh?
My name is Joshua Masters. I am a senior Appian developer, and right now I currently work with Ignite Group out of Washington, D.C.
To start, what is Skillstorm?
Skillstorm is both a skill development company for new developers, people new to low-code development. They're also a consulting company. So in addition to going through this training, once you've completed your training, you've picked up these skills, then you get to go take these skills into the real world and apply them to real world production projects. When you come to Skillstorm for developers, you know you're getting clients that have first off been thoroughly vetted by Skillstorm for technical competency before they even reach the program. You know when you go to Skillstorm, you're gonna get a strong candidate for a technology consultant out of them.
Michael, from your perspective, what is the benefit for companies of using Skillstorm?
The quality of Skillstorm's training I thought was very unique. You're simulating an actual environment where you're on a team, where you're working with other developers to all achieve a certain goal.
Thanks again for taking the time to meet with me and shed a little bit of light into how Skillstorm's process works. And once again, I'd like to give a big thank you to Skillstorm for sponsoring this year's Live Build Challenge and helping us make it the biggest and best one yet.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Skillstorm. And someone from Skillstorm is going to come out and help present the winner later on, which we will be finding out sooner rather than later. This competition is really going pretty quick. So they're building portals up there, and there's so much you can do with portals, but there's also so much that you can do with Appian. And you've heard about a lot of other features throughout this conference. So I'd love if we could just recap a little bit some of the other features that maybe they're not using, or talk about how if this was a fully fledged investigative case management app, how, how we could use Appian's features to go ahead and expand on that. So Justin, I'm gonna start with you.
Okay.
The contestants, they've been building out their records, stitching together their data fabric. How important is data fabric to application building?
You know, we've talked about it a few times. But no, I mean, I think the data fabric is the most important part, and it's gonna be because of the reusability and the data relationships. So we saw a few of the different contestants when you flash their screens up working on their interfaces, but a big part of those was these different types of grids that they configured when stitching that data fabric together. And that level of effort was set at the beginning. So when they can reuse those objects and leverage those relationships that they architected, that's just going to make their design experience that much easier. And so, I mean, Jenny, I mostly just talked about the design experience, but also what does this mean for front-end reusability?
Yeah, so from a reusability perspective, the design library, I think, is going to make everything a lot easier and a lot faster. We talked about not working harder, but working smarter, and you can build one screen with a design library and start to use that in lots of different places with that reusability. So users will get more consistency if they see something that looks similarly throughout an application. It doesn't have data in lots of different places that they wouldn't expect, and also developers get faster builds, so everyone wins.
Yeah.
We love being fast, we love automation, and Jenny, speaking of automation, you know, we aren't having the contestants build an RPA bot up here, but how do you think we could use RPA if we're talking about a real investigative case management app?
Yeah, in their example, I think integrating with legacy systems is a good place where they would start to use RPA because, you know, we have investigations and crimes have been committed for centuries, and so there's definitely a lot of legacy tech debt in places like police precincts where things have been built over time as technology changes. So I'm sure for things like getting fingerprints and integrating with those systems that are a little harder to get to, that aren't automatically exposed for whatever reason to be easily integrated with, RPA would be a really good use in that example.
Absolutely. And you know, we've had RPA for a couple of years now, but a newer tool in our toolkit is process mining. And we have a new feature that has just come out in 23.2 that you've heard about. Justin, with this new record event history just being added, I think it's a natural segue into talking about process mining. What role do you think that could play in this sort of application?
Yeah, I mean, I was so excited for this feature, but I mean, I think the essence and the bottom line is capturing those data fingerprints of the process to uncover those different types of insights, right? So if we think about case management, here it's an investigation to solve a crime, but any example of case management, there's an infinite number of paths from case open to case close. And so having the ability to automatically capture all of those actions throughout it and pump that in directly into process mining to uncover where are my inefficiencies? Where are my areas for improvement? Why are these things happening in the first place? It just reinforces that cycle of improvement that I know we're all looking for.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Great answer, Justin.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Okay, let's move on to portals for a sec. I know that they're building a portal, but it's kind of a game. It's not quite a real app, maybe, but we're seeing that they're doing parts that could be a real one, like building a tip line, accepting tips related to a crime. Jenny, what other real-life use cases are we seeing for portals?
Yeah, really anywhere you want external users interacting with your applications. So that could be a loan origination for a financial institution, or that could be an insurance claim quote. It could be government license applications, or maybe you want to make a data set public and available to everybody to access. Anywhere, again, where there's people you want to interacting with your application that is outside of your organization, that's where the portals will come in handy.
Making that data accessible. I know just 2 releases ago, it was a lot harder, not even a lot harder, just a little harder to get that data. But now with querying records directly into portals, I mean, so much easier. Justin, another new feature that just came out, AI skill. It's just been introduced. What impact do you think that could have?
I mean, I think there are so many, we talked about AI throughout this entire conference because there's just so many relevant use cases for it. When I think about the app that they're building and maybe where I would get creative on wanting to integrate this, of thinking of emails that are coming in to these police precincts as tips, or the number of documents that these investigators have to manage to understand, you know, who are the prime suspects here, what's the relevant evidence. That's a lot of manual effort to comb through those emails, to comb through those documents. And so now introducing AI skill and introducing a native way to outsource all of that manual, repetitive work to automation, we can triage those emails and classify them, assign them to the appropriate work. We can classify the documents that we have and extract the information so we can use it downstream. So the investigators can focus on, you know, who is the prime suspect, who committed the crime.
Who committed it? And you know, that's That's really great. That is like the hot new tech, this AI skill. But, you know, Jenny, you've been at Appian for over a decade.
Thanks for your service.
How have you seen the product evolve? I mean, it's kind of hard to keep up with a new release every 3 months.
Yeah, it's obviously evolved quite a bit in the past 10 years. I'm sure there are people in the audience who have seen it evolve even longer than that. We have a lot of long-time Appian fans out here. But it looks very different, and you think of Appian as a toolkit, a set of things that you can use to build your applications with, and now with process mining, RPA, AI skills now, and even the way that screens are built and render with Sail, all that's been added over my time. And Justin, you've been here for just under 2 years, I think, but how's it changed? What stood out to you?
I mean, I know it's not been as 10 years, but I mean, across 6 releases, my answer is the same. It is so much has changed. I think the biggest improvements that have helped me as a developer is just like the speed and ease to create these different types of applications, right? When I joined, our notion of data fabric was just beginning to come together. Process mining wasn't a formal part of the platform quite yet. I mean, AI skill, and this is brand new, none of these things existed, and all of those together just make a much easier and more accessible experience for developers. But I mean, like, look at the developers. Some of them have, like, they probably have a combined 50 years of Appian dev experience, maybe. And I know a lot of them stay shirt up on our latest and greatest because all 6 of them are certified, right, April?
All 6 of them are certified. Who else is certified out there in the audience? Anyone?
Woo!
All right.
I love it.
I'm going to need a little bit more energy out here. So let's get that going. Yeah, certifications. They're great. Get certified. All right. We're in the last 12 minutes of this competition.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. And I would love to go through and tell you a little bit about the scoop that I'm getting from my judges back there.
Give us the hot goss.
If we start by going to Kin, who, Jenny, you might be regretting saying that you trained him. He has been doing a lot of manual additions instead of using auto-generation, manually making grids. I mean, we mentioned earlier he went into the database. Jenny, is that what you taught him?
Jeez.
Shots fired.
Well, I do see that what he's got on the screen, at least, he's got his process models out, he's got the portal going through. It may just be the fact that he wasn't able to get through as many of those extra credit points, but I do see him consulting his notes as we're going. But I will not comment on how I feel about training my students.
Okay, that's fair. And I mean, he may come from behind. We never know. Yeah. Right now, when I'm looking over at my scoreboard, I'm seeing that he has not completed any of the MVP, but he is working on a lot of things. So it could just all magically come together at the end. Meanwhile, I'm seeing that a lot of the other developers have actually completed most of that MVP or working on the stretch. And if we go over to Pol, our next contestant, he is really crushing it, and he's also been shooting for that higher extra credit. I mean, even though he is the least experienced competitor, he only has 2 years of Appian experience, he is crushing it. I mean, Justin, you're new to Appian too. You two have about the same amount of time. Do you think you could beat him in a little Appian race?
I don't know. I guess time will tell. Maybe I can challenge the winner. But I think that, honestly, Jenny and I have been talking about this too, of being newer on Appian, to my point earlier, of that there have been so many additions to the platform to make it as easy as possible to build. So what was we just saw Ken going into the database, Pol probably leveraged that codeless data modeling. He built those objects to be reusable so he can develop that much faster.
And he's building out his tip line, so I'm interested to see what other pieces of that extra credit he has. But you know, he's working on those extra pieces. Again, way too many tabs for my liking.
Yeah, of course, when we throw his screen up, he's getting a bunch of pink box errors. But you know, it happens as we go, and Appian makes it really, really easy for you to figure out what those errors are and troubleshoot. It's software. It's not perfect. This is why we iterate. This is why we have Agile. I would love to move on and maybe look at Aparna for a second. So I've been hearing that she's been really utilizing a lot of those templates. Jenny, I don't know if you remember when in the docs it was recipes, but now we have things like design.appian.com to help us, and even those patterns right in the interface to drag and drop. So how have you loved the evolution of UI? What do you think of the UI she's making?
Yeah, I think it looks great. I like the different tabs that she's got with the interview details and the timeline. Again, I talked about the different suspects or the different relationships next to them. But yeah, from what I can see, when I can see it, I'm really liking what she's putting into it. I also like that she's leveraging those templates. That is awesome. And maybe if they were allowed to prepare it all, then they'd be able to use that design library to jumpstart them as well.
Yeah, the new design library is really great. It's making your own patterns and having those ready to go. So if we move on to Josh, so I'm hearing that Josh is using conditional logic for all the different email functionality, so that's the tip line. There's a stretch goal for you to submit a guess and then get an email of the actual reason, or what am I thinking? The actual whodunit, what happened, the description of the case. So Justin, what do you think of this combining things creatively for making one process model that just has a conditional node to send these different emails?
I mean, I think that's a smart strategy. There are a lot of times that there isn't one monolithic workflow that our designers are creating, and I think that being able to define sub-processes and maybe call them respectively and use conditional logic to route that work accordingly, I think it's a great strategy. And it looks like he has just wrapped up his tip design interface, so it's effective.
And we saw some errors before, but he seems cool as a cucumber right now, not bothered with them at all. He feels nothing inside when he sees those angry red errors. And he's just trucking along, reading them, fixing it. Looks like he knew exactly what was going wrong, which of course is most of the time.
Yeah, no, he's going great. And Anthony is going great as well. I'm hearing that look at these crowd cheers in the beginning. All right, Anthony, he's using a lot of pre-built components. So we were just talking about how easy that makes things. And he's using that for the guess who the killer is functionality. So it looks like he really is going for that extra credit. We're seeing the dark mode. Jenny, how do you feel about dark mode? Do you like it?
I think that it has its place, but I think it's definitely a developer favorite. Maybe not like a regular business user would be, let's say, familiar with that layout, but I think it's definitely one that devs love. So we can see where his background lies.
These are dark times and dark crimes, Jenny. So dark mode makes sense.
That's very true. That's very true. It's very thematic. I like it.
Oh my goodness, I just cannot. Who should we jump to next? Let's jump to Molly and see what Molly is up to now. Yeah, let's pull that screen up. You know, all of the contestants, they're doing really well. There's 6 minutes left. They're all just crushing it, getting through these user stories. It really is going to be a toss-up. Jenny, what do you think about what you're seeing on Molly's screen right now?
I'm not paying as much attention to her screen as I am to her face and her facial expressions. You know, commentaries. It's both important about what you're doing, but it's also nice to have those heads-up cameras to see what they're up to and how they're feeling. I commented on, I think, Joshua before, but definitely looking in the zone. But she looks a little, I would say, if I had to make some on-the-spot guesses, looks a little annoyed with herself for whatever reason. And that's okay. I feel like that most of the time when I'm building something, and then you finish it, you click publish, and you go, whew, and you can finally appreciate all that you've done in, at this point, 55 minutes.
I did just see her flash a smile, though, and she successfully troubleshooted it, and I have had many nights at 3 a.m. where I've had that same exact smile, so
I think she might be able to hear us.
Yeah.
We
she just threw us the wink. There she goes.
Yeah, we do all know how good it feels when the target is missing and you find where it goes.
Yeah.
It really makes all the difference. I'm looking over these stretch user stories and I'm seeing no one is really going for the evidence-related ones, but a lot of them are going for the timeline ones. And this is a place where the data fabric and our record features makes it really nice because we can take all of their different reported recollections of the events of the night and do things like filter first, show me everyone's recollection of things that happened between 7 and 8 p.m., right? So I would love to go through and see where Poll is up to now. Like I said before, he's really going for those higher extra credit points. I wonder how much more he's going to be able to get done in this last 4 minutes.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh wow, we're under 5 minutes left to go. That's
know.
very, very stressful. I'm feeling
stressful.
stressed and I don't have to do anything. I just get to be up here and gab.
I think that that was a good example. So on Molly's screen here, well, I'm seeing it on my side, but she was flashed a recommendation, and I know that performance is a big, and monitoring the health of the application is a big consideration for this. And so we saw it in the Portal Publishing Manager, that she had an unreferenced object, or they were making recommendations to improve how performant that portal can be. And that's only one example of where we see this intelligent recommendation being very much a co-pilot to the the developer's experience, right?
Ooh.
We see it in the process modeler as well.
And I really like Molly's vote option, which she just left from, but there was a nice timeline so we could start to see the different events, and that was a very cool way to see that information.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, she's doing really great, but they're moving through these screens so fast. I mean, Appian is just moving so quickly.
Except for Josh, let's be clear. that poor loading bar that you get when you start to have real panic and start to blame the Wi-Fi.
All right, we have 3 minutes to go. Let's quickly run through the contestants one more time. We'll go down the line, starting with Kin. Where is he at? Let's look at Kin's screen and see what he's doing. I'm seeing that he has finished most of his MVP. He finished the portal, but not all the other user stories. So I don't know what use the portal is if it doesn't have the functionality you're trying to do with it. What do you think?
I see that he's updating the branding and trying to make that portal look good. So maybe he's focusing on that UX side. So making sure it's the one that looks the best. That is an entire section of the points that you can get, is who has the coolest looking UI. So maybe that's what he's focusing on. But yeah, he's got his portal being published. That's a baseline. You have to have something to go to. So that's a good thing that we'll actually have something from everyone. With only 2 minutes left to go, they must be really sweating in there.
I mean, I'm sweating up here too, and I'm going to be up here for another 30 minutes. So I hope you all stay with me to the end. If we go on to poll really quickly, getting through everyone else. So I heard that poll actually copied what he was using for the tip line to then also use it for the guests. And Jenny, this is something you were touching on earlier, that reusability. I love to see it, don't you?
Yes, especially when you're down to the wire at this point with only almost 1.5 minutes left that separate you and $10,000. You definitely want things that you can reuse and just add to it all the time. So you spend that time up front building your stuff, and then you start to really whiz through and complete it a lot faster. You get an acceleration, if you will.
Definitely makes a lot of sense. Let's jump over to Anthony. I was seeing before that he was in the portal designer, but now it looks like he's going back into the interface designer. Maybe there was something that he didn't quite like, doing a last-minute tweak, but we have 1 minute and 17 seconds left, so he better get that in.
I mean, he's putting a lot of effort into the UI and the UX, and I mean, I think especially with the push to make really beautiful and intuitive experiences, those points, I definitely wouldn't sleep on them. And with 60 seconds left here, it's all about if the portal publishes. So let's see if he can pull it off.
Let's see if the portal publishes. All right, if we jump over to Molly for a second, I actually saw, we didn't quite catch it, but I saw her in the database as well.
I saw that also.
Oh,
so
my
it's not
goodness.
just Kin who has the red card if we mix our sports metaphors.
If we mix them up. Not that we know sports, but that's all right. Let's jump over to Josh. Josh is still in the process modeler. He cares a lot about getting those process extra credit points. Actually, you know what? We have 30 seconds left. I would really love to see them sweating up there. Let's pull their faces up, pull those spy cams up. It's the last few seconds. We're getting down to the wire. I hope that everyone is going to help me do this countdown when we get there. We need some energy in the room.
Yes.
Anyway, so
all right.
We're getting there.
We've got
10 seconds left. 9,
8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go. Hands up. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. What an exciting, exciting finish. And just, look at these keyboards. They're very sweaty. Tyler, we're going to need to sanitize those before we bring them back to HQ. Please give it up for these contestants. I mean, I wouldn't want to be up here. All right. we are going to take a quick minute just to cycle through and glimpse at their finished products. So we'll go in order. Kin, everyone else, you can have yours ready to show if you want to show us what you got. It'll come up on the screen. Yeah, you can click. That's okay. That's okay. We could see in the preview if you want. Yeah. So we see that bright blue up top. We see. Oh, I see a nice side tab for people interview. Cool. All right. Let's jump over to poll. Poll. Let's see what you got done in your time. If we switch to your screen there. Oh wow! Look at this. And I'm seeing. How many tabs up there?
I'm seeing so 7 tabs,
April. Really
April.
took advantage of that greater than 5 tabs.
Oh.
Wait, no,
Hey,
we won't look at that.
Friends, I would like to remind you that EA came out a few days ago, and this is why we have an EA and then a GA. So we'll make sure that's fixed up before we share out the links with you. Let's jump over to Anthony. Anthony, how are you feeling? Feeling good? Let's get that screen up there. Oh, here's the dark mode.
Wow.
Here is the dark mode. Detective Anthony on the case, trying to solve the crime. I see 2 tabs up there. Looks pretty good. The default banner we all know and love when we pull in that banner component. All right, let's jump over to Molly. Molly, what did you get done? All right.
Ooh. Oh, look at those.
Oh, look at the typeface.
Look at those fonts.
Is that a different? Wow, you changed the typeface and everything.
Typeface.
Okay. We have a lot of branding options, so that's just great. Let's jump over to Josh now. Josh, how did you do? Oh, okay. Another
nice.
pretty full one. Pretty nice. Okay, wow. A lot of information there. So hopefully that helps you solve the crime, see who done it. And last but not least, let's jump to Aparna's screen. Let's see it up there. Ooh,
wow.
Appian Bureau of Investigation. That looks pretty nice too. Suspect list, interview details, evidence, a vote. That's pretty incredible. Look at that evidence locker. Very nice. Amazing. So isn't it incredible what they've done in just 1 hour? Pretty wild. Great job. All right. Now, my friends, I know you're probably exhausted, so feel free to get up, head to the back, grab a Gatorade, relax a little bit before we figure out who won. But I'm so proud of all of you. They're amazing. Okay. Justin, Jenny, my friends, you're incredible. You've been amazing, hilarious. Couldn't have done this without you. Thank you so much. And please a round of applause for them for knowing their stuff and being funny. Yeah. See you later. All right. All right. Well, the judges, they need some time to deliberate, calculate the scores. So our live stream audience, thanks for tuning in. We will see you back here in just a little bit. Okay, all right, back to my spot.
I think I need to look in the mobile camera. I'm actually looking at the laptop camera. So.
I know, it's hard to not look at me, so
Yeah.
it's... We'll get right into it. So to start off,
wow, I'm so sorry.
can you please... Oh.
Ring light just turned off.
Sometimes my context summary gets so long that I forget my question. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Been working with Appian for just over 3 years now, and I'm current. Did I already say it?
No.
Here's my thing is I'm gonna
See,
be
but this is the thing. You could just pick 2. Go again. You can't go over to someone else's desk and tackle their keyboard during the challenge, okay?
If that's not against the rule, I will consider that.
All right. Are you all ready to find out who is going to have a very, very awkward trip through airport security? Let's bring out all the contestants back to the stage. You guys, you all look like you've had a chance to wipe some of the sweat, calm down a little bit, but we're ready for that moment of truth. So to help us announce, I would like to bring out a mod from our amazing sponsor, Skillstorm, to bring me that envelope. Let's have an Oscar moment. Thank you so much. Oh goodness, you know, it really does make me sad because I want everyone to win, but then the competition wouldn't be fun. So here we go. And the winner is Molly Saul. Congrats! Oh my goodness, so exciting. Thank you, everyone. You did amazing. You did incredible. Oh, goodness. Look at this check. How many people can we fit behind this check? Well, maybe just two. Amazing. Look at it. How are you going to fit this in airport security? Justin, maybe you can bring her a little mic. Let's see.
All right, how do you feel?
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm feeling pretty damn good.
Woo!
And are you going to go to Volcanoes National Park with the money?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to add a few more postcards to that wall for sure.
Woo! Congratulations.
All right. All right, everybody. Macedon, she needs a few days off, okay? Go enjoy Volcanoes National Park. Thank you, Molly. All right. We made it. You will be able to find the links to their portals in the conference app or in the YouTube comments if you're watching from home. And you can check out for yourself what each of these developers were able to build in 60 minutes in front of your eyes. And then you can try to solve the crime for yourself. Also, we will be posting the information packet with all the requirements on community. So if you want to try it out for yourself, time yourself, see if you could solve it, and maybe you will get the guts to apply and compete next time and try to do it on stage. We will see. But that's our show. I think we're going to do an April swap, another April squared to close us out. Maybe.
Amazing work. My goodness, I'm honored to share the stage with you. Here, come up with me while I make the announcement.
Oh, okay.
Stay out here with me. Amazing. I'm so excited that we were able to bring this to the main stage. Congratulations to all the contestants. That is nerve-wracking. I can't imagine standing up here and doing that. And thank you, April, and thank you, Justin and Jenny. It was actually an amazing afternoon, so really excited for that. A few more thank yous. Thank you, speakers. We're so thankful to all of our customers and our product experts that were able to join us this week and were able to be part of the conference. So again, thank you. Just a few of the logos there. Again, I wanted to thank our partners and our sponsors for the week. We couldn't do this show without you, and we're so thankful for your partnership. So again, thank you. A round of applause for all of our sponsors. And yet again, thank you. We've all been so grateful to have all of you here this week and those of you who joined us virtually. So thank you for making the trip and for spending time with us this week. I'm so grateful, again, to have you all here. Okay, so we already can't wait to do this again next year, right?
Yeah, but how do I outdo myself? Every time it's so hard, I have to start thinking now.
You have to start thinking now. I mean, you did a pretty good job today, so. Lots of things, lots of ideas, so we can share for next time.
If you have any, shoot them out to me. I need some help. We can collaborate. Oh, that
Pyro.
We might need a different venue for that.
We maybe we'll see. We'll see. Maybe. Well, speaking of next year, we can't wait to host Appian World again next year. And drum roll, please. We'll be back on the East Coast. We're going to be in Washington, D.C. So really excited, returning home to our roots. We hosted Appian World for many years. So we'll be at the Gaylord National Harbor in D.C. So mark your calendars now, the 15th through the 17th of April. So we look forward to seeing you there. With that, safe travels. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.
April's out.